Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you how I use ChatGPT to create this fillable PDF. One of the first videos I made on my YouTube channel, not this one, but the one I used before transitioning to this channel, was to show people how to use free programs on the internet to create fillable PDFs. Now, that was maybe 5 years ago. Some of those programs don't exist anymore. The other one, you have to pay to use the fillable PDF feature. And the third way to do it would be to just use an Adobe subscription program. It is a paid feature. And of course, not everyone can afford to do so. Over the past few months, I've been using ChatGPT and Claude to do many of the things that I normally would use paid programs for. The idea came to me to see if this was something that I could do in ChatGPT, and I tried it and it worked. So what we're looking at here is a fillable invoice tracker. I created this design in Google Docs, downloaded it as a PDF, uploaded that PDF into ChatGPT, and I asked it to turn it into a fillable PDF. And as you can see, it works perfectly. I wanted to take it a step further. I wanted to see if it would actually activate the sum feature, meaning that if I add an amount here, let's say 100, you can see it shows up here automatically. And if I were to add another one, 200, now it shows up as 300. All of this was done in ChatGPT using prompts. So we're going to replicate the process today so that you can see that you can do it for yourself with your own PDFs. All right, so here is the blank PDF we are starting with. As you can see, there is nothing here activated. This is a simple invoice tracker that I created in Google Docs and downloaded it as a PDF. We're going to take this PDF and move it into ChatGPT and see if we can make it fillable and also activate the additional feature here. All right, so we are in my ChatGPT account. And by the time of this recording, this is what the setup looks like. There's the chat area and there's the work area. For this, the chat area should be fine. We're going to click here and add our file. All right, so here's the PDF file. Click open. All right, so I'm going to do it in 2 steps. First, I'm going to ask it to make it fillable. And then when I check and it works, then I'll do the next step, which is to make it add up the amounts automatically. All right, so I should point out that this is automatically set at GPT 5.6 Sol and the effort is high. This is the current default setting that I have. Click send prompts. And this is going to take some time, so you can go ahead, do something else and come back. But I expect this to take a few minutes to complete. All right, so this took about 2 minutes or so, and here is what it has done. It has completed the steps. You can see 2 minutes and 18 seconds. We can preview to see what the file looks like here. Unfortunately, this is not going to show the fillable areas activated, so you do have to download this. So I'm going to download this file. I'll call this demo invoice so I can differentiate it from the one that I did earlier. All right, save. Now you can see I have the demo invoice file here. I'm going to open it up in my browser, okay, because you do have the option of opening it up in Adobe Reader if you have that downloaded. I'm just going to open it up in Google Chrome because that should work as well. So here is what that is looking like. Let's test it out. So that works without a problem. So you can see that we have no issues here. It works fine. And you can see all these areas are filled in automatically. Now, even if you were using Adobe to make this, this is actually a manual process. It's not as automatic as this. This actually does a better job than using the paid subscription, in my opinion. Now, because we haven't activated the additional features, if I were to add 100 here, you can see nothing happens. You can see that this doesn't automatically sum anything. We're going to go back and ask ChatGPT to add that feature. Feel free to do it all in one prompt, but just for the purposes of this demo, I wanted to show you step by step how I was able to achieve it, just to make sure that it worked properly. Okay, so back here, I'm going to ask it to add the additional feature, which is to make sure that this sums automatically. Here's my prompt. I'm just saying, ensure the amounts in this amount column add up automatically. Also take these into consideration because I want it to recognize discount, taxes, and deposits. And finally, I want to add a drop down here. So I don't want to have to type the payment method every time. I want to give me a few options here that I can select as a drop down. In the PDF that I showed earlier, I did have that option, but I did not show it. So click send prompt. And of course, this is going to take a few minutes. So go ahead and do something else and feel free to check back when it's done. All right, so this took a little bit longer, 2 minutes and 35 seconds. And now we're going to test it out to make sure that it works. Again, if you click here, you can see the preview, but we cannot test it in this area here. So go ahead and download and call this demo invoice 2. We're going to open it up in a browser as well. All right, so here is what it's looking like. Just test out here. All right, so that's an invoice number, client's name. Okay, so good. And then we're going to just add a fictional description here. Let's do 100. So already you can see that it shows up here as 100. And do something else here. Let's do 100. So subtotal works. Let's do a discount of 400. And now it shows up at 1100. Taxes and fees, 100. So it works the way it's supposed to. So it's not letting me type in a deposit because of this payment log area, which is really smart because I wasn't even thinking about that. So if we're to add a payment amount, so let's say 50, now it shows up here. Let's do 150 and it shows up here. So you can see that everything works perfectly. And this is much better, in my opinion, that you can do in Adobe because this just does automatically in the background. And when it's done, you just download your invoice. And then let's test out the drop down. So you can see we have different options here. Okay, it works fine. And the other thing that I'm not going to show you, but you can do it when you are creating yours, is you can ask it to use a specific font. So there are many free Google fonts that are available. So you can say, use this free Google font. So if you don't like this default font, it would use the specific font for you. And you can ask it to increase the size just in case you feel like this text size is too small. All right. And then now you can just download this and save it. And that is it. All right. So that's where I'm going to wrap up this quick tutorial today. If you found it useful, hit the like button. You know what to do. And if you were able to replicate this, meaning you were able to make your PDF fillable, leave a comment below on your experience overall if you're able to make this work or not. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.